We are starting Pei Zayin Amid Aleph. We're starting from the Mishnah, the second line. I just want to fear ice from yesterday. A Machlokes Rishonim. What happens if somebody said Havlon Vorech? If he started to, if he said let's bench. So we said he's also lishtos. So what's the pshat? He's also lishtos. So there's really three shitas. It's two shtayim shein shalish. Pashtus, we said over that the pshat is that the reason is because he's going to need a new bracha rishona. That's the problem. He needs a new bracha rishona, and since he needs a new bracha rishona, so he can't drink because he needs a new bracha rishona. But once he says a bracha rishona, no problem. He'll make a new hagafen on the wine, and then he'll be shoyse the wine, and then he's going to make one benching. However,
so it's not also for him to make the bracha rishona?
No.
He should do that.
No,
he
really.
Just can't drink right now.
I don't know if there's any. Yeah, right. He can't drink without making a bracha because he was already misalik himself in the suda, and he has to make a new bracha rishona. That's how we learned the sugya. However, there is a shitas rishonim that holds that that he's going to need a bracha achroina, a second bracha achroina as well, and then it's also lishtais because he can't make a bracha. Now in that shita, there's two mahalch. Either the vart is pashet because he was misalik himself from the benching from the bracha achroina, and therefore he's going to need a new benching for the second bracha. That's one malach. Or the vart is it's like azad take if azad that once you say havlon levarech you have to bench right away, and therefore that's why he can't go and he can't make a hagafen and then bench. That's the two mahalchim. Okay, so one mahalch was the first mahalch we said was no problem, just make a hagafen and then bench. The other two mahalchim is either once he said havlon levarech also lishtais because you have to right away bench. It's a zat take if azah. Whatever it is that you misalik yourself from the benching, therefore you're gonna need a new benching for the second for you're gonna need a new bracha achroina as well for the first for the
makes the difference between the varitlach. According to the second part, you can make a new bracha, drink less than a shear, and it shouldn't be.
Oh, that's true. That's also true. Right. Yeah, I guess so. Right. Yeah. Gewaldig. Okay. Yeah. Pashtus. Okay. Yeah, we have to. Okay. That's that Gemara. There's a lot more to be involved on that sugya, but we're going to start from the Mishnah. So the Mishnah shachav lekisa, the Mishnah shachav lekisa v'ra'o acher, and somebody else saw that it was not mechasa chayiv lechasa. So there's a separate din that other people have to pick up from where he left off and be mechasa. Kiso v'niz gala if he covered it and if he covered it and it became uncovered, pater mechases. So ruach chayiv lechasis. The Gemara is going to explain exactly what it is. But if let's say the kiso ruach, so you chayiv lechasis. So kipshuto the Mishnah means kiso ruach chayiv lechasis means you have to be in mechasa right now. Not that the pshat is you have to be mechasa once it gets uncovered. That would have been the pashtus of the Mishnah. We'll see in the Gemara. So the Gemara writes on Rabbanon the shavach v'kisei somehow from v'shavach v'kisei it's right next to each other. Misha shavach chichase. Now the achronim are very very ma'irich about this halacha that v'shavach v'kisei misha shavach chichase is it a mitzvah or is it a kedima? In other words, is the pshat that you have a schus to be do it, but anybody else could do it also, or is it daf-Yomi mitzvah? And then it's negea a lot. The real shaila is there any inyan for the shochet if he gives to what's called it? The achronim are very busy with this. Is there any din that you should that the sheikhet, if he lets somebody else do the kisoi, if that the one that's doing the kisoi is his shliach? Is there a din that the sheikhet has to do it? Because Avram says Edis that he was with the briskerov and by kaparas, and he would ask the sheikhet if he could do the kisoi, and he didn't say that he's going to be a shliach. He just did it himself.
So what makes a difference if you have to compensate them?
That's we're getting that's the sugi. That's the next. This is Asar Zuvim. That's the sugi. That's Mamish today's sugi. That is today's sugi.
Let's take Yom Kippur for example.
Yeah.
You have one
Shochat veloy kisei. If let's say he shechted and didn't keep, it wasn't mechasa, which is the case of our Mishnah, right? Viro acher minayin shechayv v'chasas. How do you know that there's a chiyuv on somebody else also? So this is clear. This is clear. At Kopanim in the Havamina of this brisa that it's mashma that there would be that the mitzvah is only mutal on the sheikher and on nobody else, right? No, because the brisa has a havamina. The brisa has a havamina. Minayin shechayv v'chasas. How do you know b'chalal that there's a chiyuv for anybody else to be mechasa? It's mashma. Oh, that's the shayla. That's the shayla. That's like Vanilla. Yeah. This is where they talk about all these shaylas. Shenamar v'oimel of Bnei Yisrael. The end of the next pasuk says v'oimel of Bnei Yisrael. That the first pasuk says ivei shishmim Bnei Yisrael menager go b'seichem asher yotzut say b'chaya oif asher yochel v'shafach is dam v'chisel ba'afa. That's the first pasuk. That's Vayikru Yud Zayin Yud Gimel. Yud Zayin Yud Daled is ki nefesh kol basar dam v'nafshehu v'oimel of Bnei Yisrael dam kol basar lo yiseichlu. So we dash v'oiver l'vnei Yisrael, azar l'chol b'nei Yisrael, that it's mutal on Gans Klal Yisrael as well. So then the question is it a different mitzvah? Is it the same mitzvah? Some say it's a different mitzvah. There's a lot of Torah over here exactly how to learn. So the Gemara Vaita. The next one more brisa stand before we get to Azar Zehuvim. Tanya idach v'shafach v'chisei. Again, a hekish of the v'shafach v'chisei because the pasuk says. V'shafach is damay v'chiseu ba'afa. It's mashma that they have a sheikhis. Ba'meh sheshafach ba'yichasa. With the aver, with the arm that he did the shvika ba'yichasa. Shleichasenu beregel. Shleiyu mitzvahs bezuyis olav. That he shouldn't just kick over some dirt over it. That would be a bezayin. Fakir, he should do it with his hand. He should do it with a chashivas. I don't know if it's an asmachta or it's a makar. That's the Gemara. Tanya idach v'shavach v'chisei. This is Dazar Zehuvim, one of the most famous Gemara's in Shas. Yep. V'shavach v'chisei misha shafach hu yichasen. Ma'isa be'echad sheshachach. V'kadamcha aveiroi v'kisei. V'chayvoi Reb Gamliel liten lo yod zehuvim. And Gamliel was mechayiv him to give yod zehuvim. So now, on this Gemara, there's tons and tons and tons and tons of Torah. Yeah. So let's try to go by Hadraga and let's try to let's see what's Mekenda Oisred. First of all, Tosfos has a very pashta kasha. Tosfos has a pashta kasha. What Yud Zehuvim? Why didn't he just give him a oif? Why didn't he just give him a oif? As I fact Tosfos, a oif is much cheaper. Just give him a oif. Oif doesn't cost Yud Zehuvim. Just give him another oif. He'll shecht another oif.
But he took away this mitzvah's kisi.
So wow, that's Tosfos teretz. So Tosfos, that's not going to help. That's a new mitzvah. That's not this mitzvah. Now, yeah, but let's use that Tosfos, that kasha and teretz of Tosfos. That's exactly Tosfos teretz. Yeah, very geschmack. Yeah. So now let's use that kasha and teretz of Tosfos to understand what is the chiyuv of Yud Zehuvim. There's three mahalchim in the Rishonim. Yeah. The question is this a momentous gazach? Right? Just what? Since he wasn't mafsid mammon, so memela we're not gaiva b'bavel. But it's a real hefsid mammon, and in that gufa we could declare if it's a hezek or a gzela. But it's a real hefsid mammon. It's a real mammon is the good thing. It's a real chiyuv. Yeah, because you're a mafsid body. L'chura, I would have said, and Tosfos' teretz is l'chura is Tosfos' teretz. If you were really mafsid mammon, I mean, what do you mean? How could it be worth more? How could a real mitzvah be worth more than supply and demand? I mean, if I could reproduce this for a shekel, how could it be worth more than a shekel? I wasn't mafsid any money. What do you mean? Why? Because the value is I could reproduce this for a kapika. Well, how could it be worth 10 masar zuvim? So Tosfos says because I don't know. It needs to svara. Yeah, but akapanim. There's another two mahalchim in the Rishonim. There are another two mahalchim. One mahalchim in Rishonim is it's a knas. Oh. Now the kasha on the kasha, why it can't be a knas is like this. The kasha is because the Gemara in Baba Kama, and this is a Gemara Baba Kama, which is very, very yisayistic. We're going to come back to this Gemara Baba Kama. The Rishonim bring a lot of rayas to the sugya from the Gemara Baba Kama. The Gemara Baba Kama talks about a chiyuv to be masalik a hezek, and to be masalik a hezek like a wild animal or a tree that's falling down. And if somebody else did it, you have a mitzvah, and somebody else did it. So tomorrow you'll have a chiyuv of asar zuvim, right? Because yichapto is your mitzvah. Now the shaila is how could the Gemara bring a raya from here to there? We have a rule that you don't compare knossos. So if from the fact that we compare from this asar zuvim to that asar zuvim is a raya that it's not a knas. That's what they want to. That is what the Rishonim bring a raya that it's not a knas. Again, there are those that are matcha that raya that Gemara is going to let Rav, and Rav holds that you could compare knossos adodi. There's a third mahalach. So again, we have one side that it's a mominus, a real mominus, a mafsed momin, or not hefsed momin, but a chiyav momin, because the ma'aseh you took away mominus. The other one is that it's a knas. And the third shita is that it's neither of the two. It's not a knas and it's not momin. It's a takonas chachamim to give chashivas to a mitzvah. The chashivas of the mitzvah is that because we want to have a chashivas, if we're gonna the way they were masakin that if you take away Yenim's mitzvah, you're gonna have you're gonna have to pay. You're gonna have to compensate him asar zuvim. I'm not sure if that's not the language of knas, but that's not a knas. Okay, that's the three malchim. Okay, now
it's a set price of 10 zuvim for the mitzvah.
Oh, so where does
every mitzvah is worth 10 zuvim?
Oh, very gishmak. Okay, so first of all, let's go by hadraga. Where does asar zuvim come from? Where does it come from? So where does it come from? So there's a Pri Chadash, a very interesting Pri Chadash. The Pri Chadash says that you know where it comes from? It's a pasuk in the Torah. Eliezer and Avram, after the whole fantastic story with Rivka, he gives Becca mishkala. Then he says Asar Zuvim mishkala. He gave to Rivka. Once Rivka gave him the opportunity to say a bracha, Baruch Hashem Elokei Yisrael v'Yitin La. What he gave her this, but as zuvim mishkalam. And the Achronim say that's why the Gemara uses the lashon of yud zehuvim. Yud zehuvim. The reason why it's yud zehuvim is because even the zehuvim is not a lashon of Gemara, but we're using because it's lashon hakasav, because that's the makar of that's the makar of this amount.
So how he didn't take her mitzvah?
What?
She gave him the opportunity.
She gave him the opportunity, so that's how we see that's the number.
But she didn't take his
right.
mitzvah.
True. Okay.
He didn't take her mitzvah.
So,
yeah.
Okay.
It's very different, huh?
I don't know. Why should it be different? The Maisa, she gave him an opportunity to do a bracha. So Mela, I don't know. Anyway, so. But the Maisa and Halacha is brought down, Taka, this cheshbon, or you're saying that there is monetary cheshbonis. L'mashal, if there's a mitzvah that there's a tircha, and therefore he's somewhat happy that somebody else took care of the mitzvah, then you take off a little bit from the Asar Zehuvim. In other words, that the Asar Zehuvim is not set in stone. Yeah. That's mashma that it is some monetary thing. Yeah. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, what? Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. This whole Gemara, you will see the next stick of Gemara is mamish apliya. Ibaylu, schar mitzvah or schar bracha. What is the chiyuv? Is the chiyuv for the mitzvah, for the bracha, for the mitzvah itself? For you took away the mitzvah, or is it for the bracha? The ma'inaf gemin is akti mar lebechas hamazon. If it's a schar mitzvah, then there's only one. It's only one mitzvah b'chas hamazon. However, the Amrit schar bracha havin arboim. Then it would be 40 because there's 4 brachas in b'chas hamazon. Every single line of this Gemara is mamish is tzorchin. Zokt Rabban, but you can't say it's only for the bracha. Why can't you say it's only for the bracha? Because if it's only for the bracha, what's right to the Gemara Baba Kama? The Gemara Baba Kama is talking about being misal nizak, and there's no bracha there. So it can't be only for the bracha. Teretz is it's for either the bracha or the mitzvah. Even on the tzad that it's a bracha, it's either the bracha or the mitzvah. So what's shver? So shver is by kisei adam. He took away from him two mitzvahs. So the bracha and the mitzvah on the tzad that it's bracha. Like the Gemara is going to say the maskana that it's bracha. So yeah. So, Birchas Hamazon. If let's say somebody took away from you Birchas Hamazon, would you have to pay 40 or 10? It's one mitzvah, but it's 4 brachas. Oh, what would be the case? Maybe it would be Zimun. Maybe I don't know.
Zimun, not Birchas Hamazon. You bench.
If in the old days, Zimun was
if he benched for everybody,
and he was to everybody.
Zimun.
Okay, yeah, and now in Birchas Hamazon itself, the Toys asks a kasha that there's more than 4 brachas because there's Agafen as well. So Toys wants to say that it's going like the Mandama that holds that you don't make a separate bracha on the Agafen. That this Gemara is going like the Mandama that you don't make a separate bracha on the Agafen. However, there are those that say other terutzim. There's a Murray Teretz. There's a Murray Teretz on the Shach, and this is a plea. Everyone's going to jump on me. They're going to ask the Ktoisus Kasha. Zok the Shach that it is the 4 brachas is Hagafen, and the 3 brachas that are deraisa. But the last one, which is Atoy V'Ameitav, you don't have to pay Esor Zuvim for. What's fair? Again. For the first 3, which are deraisa, you pay 10 zuvim, and the Hagafen. But not for Atoy V'Ameitav, which is the Rabban. Oh, Frek the K'tzais! I knew you could. Frek the K'tzais. What do you mean? Hagafen's also the Rabban. What's going on over here? Yeah. So there's a teretz from the Achronim. They want to say a murdig teretz, and this svara, if this svara works, this maybe will be an eitzah for the other kasha that we asked. That you're paying for if you're paying for a bracha, so how come you don't have to pay esrim zuhuvim by kisei adam? And that is this murdig svara that they say that when there's a deraisa, you don't pay for the Rabbanans. But when something that has the Rabbanans, yeah, but if the whole chefs is a Rabbanan, then you pay for the Rabbanan as well. Yeah? So, I don't know what that svara is. It needs a little bit of hezbollah, but if you could if you could work out that svara, that the pshat is that there's the focus point, and there's the main aspect of every mitzvah, and we'll say that by where a bracha with a mitzvah, the focus becomes the bracha, right? So we could say very geshmak that the word is that a bracha with a mitzvah, so the focus is the mitzvah. But and if it doesn't have a mitzvah, so we focus on that the mitzvah. So in other words, the question is how we price everything. It's all a question of pricing, and it's all a question of what you focus on. But enechanami, if there's a bracha and a mitzvah, you only do one. You're only going to do one because there's only one mitzvah. Do the same kind of a svara that if there's a benching has four brachas, but 3 of them are deraisa and 1 is derabanan, you won't pay for the derabanan. You'll pay for the deraisa. Masha'ika by agafen, you'll pay for the agafen. Such a kind of a svara. Okay, let's go weiter. Yeah. What else? Okay. Yeah. So the Gemara. So what's the story with benching? My Tashma the Omaleahu Tzduki the Rebbe. There was a Tzduki that came to Rebbe, or a min. It's not clear. It could be we changed this gear also. Mi sheyatza harim lebara ruach, mi shebara ruach leyatza harim. He wanted to be medayik in the psukim That what? That it's mash from the psukim. It says that there's a yotza harim dichsev ki hine yotza harim upayrei ruach. So it's mashma that there's two things. There's a yotzer, and there's a payrei. Two different entities. Rachmana litzlan. Yeah. Ki yotza harim upayrei ruach. Amalei. So Rabbi says shaita shvil is safe in the crowd. Go look at the end of the pasuk. It says Hashem tzvakei shemai. So at the end of the pasuk it says Hashem tzvakei shemai, which it says clearly that it's all going back on all of it. That was Rebbe's answer. So before we get to the end of the story, very interesting. Achronim say that that's why because of this Gemara is the source of our nusach of Ma'ariv every single day. We say no, we say we also say Hashem tzvakei shemai in the first bracha of again, what's the? I don't have it in front. The reason why we say Hashem tzvakei shemai is also because we say Maviyem and maybe Loila. No, we said we also call HaKadosh Baruch Hu two things. We said a yotzer and a bayrei. So memela we say Hashem tzvakei shemai because of this thing, because that loitzi mi libam. Very interesting. Okay, amalei. So this min, okay, he was stumped, but he wasn't going to take it sitting down. Amalei, give me 3 days, and I'm going to come back with a good question. Yeah? Vice versa, there was a lot on the line over here. Yosef Rebbe Tlas Tanisa. So Rebbe was sat 3 Tanesim. Vice versa, this guy was some sort of a Karvel Malchus or something, and it was negay. It was important to disprove it. After 3 days of Tanesim, Rebbe had to eat something. It was already 3 days, he had to eat something. Amrulei, his family told him, Tzduki Koyabava. Yeah? That the guy's there's a Tzduki that's by the door. Now, Rebbe assumed that it was that guy. He said, Vayitnu bevroisi roish. There's a pasuk in Tehillim that says that Vayitnu bevroisi roish, that he put into my food something bitter. In other words, I was about to eat something, and now this guy's showing up. Yeah. Anyway, so the guy comes in. It was somebody else, and it was a different tzduki. It was Taka tzduki or a min, a different one. But he came in, and he came to say that no. I'm coming with good news. This your antagonist was Leimatza Tshuva. He didn't find he didn't have a good time to you. Leimatza Tshuva Oivecha, your antagonist, and he committed suicide. So Rebbe was all excited that this guy came to him. And Omalei Ritzoncha Shatisad Esli, you want to come join me? I'm about to eat. I'm breaking my fast after 3 days. You want to come eat? Omalei Hein. After they ate and drank, Amalei, Rebbe said, and this is the Lashon, a very, very shver Lashon. Mamish, a lot of different shatim over here. What exactly the Shakavatai was? Rebbe asked him, Kois shel bracha ata shoisa? Tell me, you drink wine or you drink grape juice? No, he said, Kois shel bracha ata shoisa, or arboim zuvim ata noitel? What do you want? Do you want the Kois shel bracha, or do you want the arba zuvim? We'll get back to the Gemara. Let's figure out the end of the Gemara, and then we'll discuss what the Shakavatai is. Amalei Kois shel bracha ani shoisa. He said, I prefer the Kois shel bracha. Yatzisa Baskova Amra Koisha Bracha Yishve Arbaim Zuhuvim. The Koisha Bracha is Taka Shave Arbaim Zuhuvim. Amra Yitzchak Adayin Yeshna Laoise Mishpacha Ben Gedoyle Roimi the current Oise Mishpachas Bar Lu Aine Loi Aines. This man it's mashma from the Gemara that because he had a chelik of the Koisha Bracha from a Rebbe, so the family remained part of the Roman Senate. For ad hayom, at least until the Gemara site in this Luainis family. Yeah? Yeah, that's the end of the story. Okay. So now the shaila is, what was Rebbe telling him to do? What was Rebbe asking him? Why is he taking Arba Zuvim? What exactly is the Shakavatai? So Kipshutoi, right? Kipshutoi, Rebbe was asking him if he's gonna have the Koisha Bracha, or he is or he's going to take money. And the guy said, no, I don't want the money, right? Why is he giving him money? What's going on over here, right? Rebbe's paying him. Rebbe's had some sort of a teretz to give him money. What's going on?
Why
Here?
was it three?
What? Yeah. So there are those that learn that the pshat is that Rebbe was looking for a teretz to pay him off, to give him a matan or something, and so he asked him, should I give you a kosher bracha, or should I give you arboim zehuvim for the fact that you gave me the opportunity to make a bracha or something like that? I don't know. So Rashi says, here's the lashon of Rashi, and the shaila is in Rashi Gufa, because Rashi says, Schar arba brachos she'ona achareim amen. What are we talking about here? Who's on achareim amen? Which amen? So there are those that say like this. That Rebbe Verstetzach is not going to give a min. No, so there are those that one second. So kipshutoi, Rebbe is paying him arboim zuvim for the fact that the min made the bracha, and Rebbe said amen, and b'schar the amen that this min gave Rebbe, Rebbe is paying, right? And from here, some achronim want to bring a raya to gvaldig halacha of Rabbeinu Tam. There was a story of Rabbeinu Tam that somebody came and he chapt ois a mila. And the shaila was, does he have to pay azor zuvim? He chapt ois a mila. Rabbeinu Tam said he doesn't have to. Why? So Rabbeinu Tam, because our Gemara says there's a bracha, right? That you pay for the schar bracha. And God, amen, yosem and amavarei. So Mamela, the guy who was standing right there, the father that was standing right there, had an opportunity to answer Amen. So either he answered Amen, so Mamela's got Amen, yes, and if he didn't answer Amen, you dafs and nafshe. The Gemara with Gamliel that was Machayiv, the Teretz is, it must be the Gemara with Reb Gamliel was talking about a case where he didn't make the bracha loud enough for him to say Amen. But if there was an opportunity to say Amen, Zok Rabbeinu Tam, there's no chiyuv. We have a raya from our Gemara, because our Gemara, the whole raya that it's the schar bracha and not the schar mitzvah is from the case of Rebbe. And the case of Rebbe, Zok Rashi that what's that arboim zuvim? It's the 40 zuvim that the min was mamtzi to Rebbe to say amen. Is a raya that what that amen is just as valuable as the bracha, and male that's the raya for Rabbeinu Tam. However, the other achronim say pum faket. The pum faket. What's Rashi saying? Pum faket. Avada Rebbe was not going to allow a min to go make brachas, and Rebbe is not paying for the bracha that he answered amen to the min's bracha. Fakert. He was paying off the min. He was telling the men, you don't make the bracha. You're going to answer amen, and he's paying him off the schar arba zehuvim that he's going to answer amen. In other words, that the min is going to answer amen, and Rebbe is going to bench because he's not going to allow the min to bench because the min is. Min is a min. He's not going to allow the min to bench in front of Rebbe. That's the other mahalach in this Gemara, and then for them there won't be a right to Rabbeinu Tam's halacha. Yeah, it's still dochok. What exactly the shakavitaya from Rebbe was? What was he asking? What exactly? Why is it a steer? Why can't you do both? What's his shmooze? What exactly is the
If he held that he was
Okay, I just maybe just for the pshatava of the story, just a new suggestion for what happened over here. What Rebbe was saying, Kosher bracha atoshoisa, oi arboim zuv matanoitel. What was the choice? What's the choice? So I'm just suggesting a new mahalach, maybe a slightly new mahalach. The Rebbe's question was, Gufa, do you want some kosher bracha or not? Do you want to drink from the kosher bracha or not? And what was his choices? Either take a sip of the kosher bracha, or if you don't want a kosher bracha, will compensate you. Arboim zuvim, and somebody else will get from the kosher bracha. And he said he wants the kosher bracha. And from the fact that we're saying that the kosher bracha is worth arboim zuvim, is a raya that bracha that's in this case is worth arboim zuvim. That's the shmooze. So in other words, it's nothing to do with the bracha, like there's a tzad, he would make the bracha, he won't make the bracha. That's not the shmooze. We're bringing a raya from the kosher bracha is worth. So Rashi, kosher bracha is arboim zuvim. So Rashi talking about the kos. Schar arba bracha she'ana achareim amen on the kos. Rashi's talking about on the kos, and that's why it's arboim zuvim. That's the arboim zuvim of the kosher bracha. That's another suggestion. And now it's a little bit gishmaka, maybe the Yatsa Baskal V'Amra Kosher Bracha Yishva Arboim Zuvim. Why is the Kosher Bracha Yishva Arboim Zuvim? Because in other words, the Kosher Bracha has in it the bracha, and the bracha is worth 40 Zuvim. A suggestion maybe pshat in this Gemara, another mahalach in this Gemara. Okay, yeah, good, weiter. Sagt die Gemara Kisov in the Skala. Amle Rav Achabrei the Rav Rav Ashi Mahayshna Mehashav Asavedom. Why is the halacha that Kisov in the Skala is part of Melachasois? I by Ashav Asaveda Amamar Ha Hashev Afilo Meya Pa Ba Yeah. So Frek Kega that this Gemara is kash.
What does it mean you have to give it 100%?
That means that if something got lost and you returned it, then it got lost again, you're mechayiv to go return it again. What's the tushtel? Wait, by Yashav Zaveda, it got lost. It got lost. You're mechayiv to return it.
The dam is uncovered as mechayiv.
What's that shayich is Frek Kega? What's the? Yeah, it's a plea. Yeah. That. It's a plea. What's the shaykhis? By Hashav Zaveda, it's a new machayiv. Over here, it's niskala. Yeah, that's the more that it. What?
If the dam is uncovered, mechayiv is not that you have to do a kisi. That mechayiv is an uncovered dam. You have to cover it.
Oh.
That's the mechayiv. It's not a din kisi.
So die maar weiter. Ja, Hashma will me pom amalei Hasam leksiv miuta. Hachiksiv miuta. V'chisehu. It doesn't say v'chisei. It says v'chisehu, and it's mashma that you should just cover it up right now, but you don't have to keep it covered. So the Mishnah said that what kisau haruach kisau haruach patim elchases. So what's the case of chayiv l'chases? Shechazav in his gala, avaloy chazav in his gala, patam elchases. That if it's loy chazav in his gala, that it's patam elchases. Yeah. Now, so I just want to. Okay. So one second. I just want to red eyes. There's going to be a shmooze in a few places, but nobody. I didn't see anybody talk about it at this point in the Gemara. But this is the point in the Gemara really we should clear. What's the chiddush of Rabbi Chanan Rabbi Yechanan? Lo yisha no shchaz in the skala. Lo yisha in the skala patim milchases. Verstetzach patim milchases is mechosa. What are you going to do? What was the havamina? What's Rabbi Chanan Rabbi Yechanan coming to be mechadish?
Havamina is that you didn't cover it. You have a chiyuv to cover it, and now you need to uncover it, so you have a chiyuv.
Zokstu, very geschmack. So that's one of the big mahalchim in the sugya, that the havamina would be, they have a chiyuv legalois or lechasis. That's one big malach. And the other side is that the other side that they say in this Gemara, and it's going to be shot in the Bryce, it's going to be shot in the Mishnah. Yeah, very geschmack, very 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 close. The other mahalach is that there will be a din of min b'minay ein chaytzitz, and the pshat is that I would have to be go be machasa again on top of it. That would be the two mahalchim in the sugya. Either I have to be megalid and be machasa, or the word is I have to be machasa on top of min b'minay ein chaytzitz. That is the two mahalchim that they say. I don't know why. Nobody seems to say what I would want to say is that who says there's a din of chatzitza? Maybe the pshat is mechase. Oh, in other words, I just have to cover it over. So who says I can't cover it over if it's covered? Covering it over, chatzitza is negea when something has to touch. I don't have to touch it, I just have to cover it over. So I can cover it over something that's covered already.
Then you're not covering it, you're covering the dirt.
Yeah, so the Gemara, frak the Gemara, kasha v'chilasav v'niskala may have it's itchile, and we have a concept by Kochim of dacho boy. Amrav Papa Zoyse Meres ain't dachi ain't dichoy eitzel mitzvahs. The Gemara is going to talk about it on a number of bases as well. That mitzvahs are not nitcha. That even though by Kochim we have something called damaged goods, and memela, and once it's dacha, you can't do it. Mashenk by mitzvahs, there's no such a thing, and you can still chaperai. Now, it's important to read ois. This is a very, very, very important thing to read ois. Taisa read ois in some places. Krega read ois. It's a very important thing that the Gemara in Sukkah declares about dachi etzel mitzvahs, and the Gemara tries to bring a raya from our Gemara, and the Gemara says that our Gemara is not a raya. Why? Because it could be it's a suffix if yesh the chayetzel mitzvahs. So over here you have to go to chumrah, and over there you have to go to, and by hadasim you have to go to chumrah as well, and you can't use the hadas. So it would be negeya. So it's what's a negeya? It's mamash negeya la halacha that even though the Gemara says zoysemeres ain't chayetzel mitzvahs, but it'll be negeya. You can't make a bracha because it could be they're only making a kisei over here only misafik. Maybe ain't chayetzel mitzvahs, but not mitam vade. Very important. Okay, so tomorrow right to my shnami hal tanya hashoichet. V'nivladam bekarka chayev lechasois. Again, here's chayev lechasois, and the one has a havamina that is a chayev kisoy, even though it was nivladam bekarka. So tomorrow hasam kisher rishumay nika. Over there, we're talking about when it's rishumay nika, so it's still you can still see the dam. So memela, it's no issue. So memela, it's not completely niskala, and memela. But avada, if it's completely mechusa, then avada there's no havamina that you'll have to do kisa like Rabbi Chanan and Rabbi Yechanan. Yeah, good. So let's move on. We have to move on. We have to do the Mishnah. So the Mishnah. Here comes a new sugya legabe if the dam is nisarif tarufes. Dam shenisarif b'mayim yesh b'maris dam chayiv lechasois. That somehow that the maris dam it gives it still a din dam. Now, here, there's two important things to read. First of all, we have to know where does the halacha comes from. This is a very, very, very big shtel where it comes from. Some achronim want to learn it up from a pasuk. Some achronim want to learn it up from maybe it's halacha mishum Sinai. It's not clear where this halacha comes from. The maris dam is chayiv lechasis, but it's important to realize that it's a deraisa de halacha because it's negeya also. By Kochim, by Dam Kochim, we have the same exact mamish, the same exact Mishnah, but Negea being Zorik. And Avada, if you have Dam Shanasara B'mayim, Yesh B'maris Dam Chayiv L'chasis is Negea. It's Negea that you're allowed to be Zorik. If you're allowed to be Zorik to Dam, vice versa, the pshat is that it has a din Dam, even Midai Raisa. Now the other shmuz is like this. What does it mean Maris Dam? Does Maris Dam mean is a big machlokes? A big machlokes. If Maris Dam means that there's somewhat of a red tint, it's a somewhat. Or if Maris Dam means that it still looks bright red. Yeah? Big machlokes. And there are those achronim that want to be medaik from the Lashon Mishnah, im yesh boy Maris Dam. It doesn't say im mareu k'marei dam. It says im yesh boy maris dam. The lashon of the Mishnah is a little bit mashma that it's just somewhat of a tint. Not that the pshat is that it's Maria Kamarim. Okay. Nesara b'yayin. Nesara b'yayin. Royin oisekilu humayim. Yeah. Royin oisekilu humayim. Here, this is for sure sounds like halacha should be seen at the kesotzach, because it's not a svara, right? It's not a svara that you see the dam here, right? You don't see dam. It's just nesara b'yayin royin oisekilu mayim. We look at the yayin as if it's mayim, and then we measure what would have been if it was mayim, if there would still be maras dam. So nesara b'dam behema or b'dam achaya royin oisekilu mayim. By dam behema, which is not mechuyev in kisoy, or dam chaya, not dam shchuta, dam chaya, dam akaz. In other words, somebody blood let from a chaya, blood that was not dam shchuta, again doesn't need kisoy. Right, you'll have roin oisekilu heimayim. Rabbi Yehuda ein dam mevatel dam. This is the din of Rabbi Yehuda, famous halacha of Rabbi Yehuda that says that min b'minei is that min b'minei einei bottle. Yeah, that's the din of Rabbi Yehuda. Yes, what? Yeah. Zot gemara right. Dama nites v'shal asakin. This is going to be negeh tomorrow. Very, very important halacha. Dama nites v'shal asakin. Chayav v'chasis. The dama nites, the dam that's spritzed or that's still on the sakin. Chayav v'chasis. Rabbi Yehuda emes man she'ein sham dam elahu. We're going to talk about this. The Gemara is going to talk about it. We'll see already what the machlokes is. If there's a machlokes b'chal and Rabbi Yehuda, what's going on over here? Okay. This is a Mishnah in Kachim, right? In Zvachim, a very, very, very similar to our Mishnah. Dam shenisare b'mayim, im yesh b'mares dam, kosher nisare b'yayin, royin oisekilo mayim, nisare b'dam b'hema, b'dam chayim, amish exactly like our Mishnah, royin oisekilo mayim, Rabbi Yehuda, ein dam v'atul dam, same halacha. And on that Mishnah it said, Rabbi Chia bar Abba, Rabbi Yochanan lo yishanu el shenafal mayim u'seich dam. Where do we say that the dam retains its entity is only if the nafal mayim l'seich dam? That the way it got mixed was that we started off with dam and mayim started to trickle into the dam. Avol nafal dam l'seich mayim. But if we started off with mayim and dam started trickling in the other way, so then Rishon bottle. Rishon is bottle, and since Rishon bottle, and it's not chayz v'neya. Amarav papa, ulen yakisa yenekain. Why? Because they ain't dichei etzel mitzvahs. Very geschmack. Yeah, that the pshat is that by kachim there's a dichoy, and memela once it's nitchetz not chayz v'neir. Mashenkin by kisei that it is chayz v'neir. Memela it will veikis kiyoshin apigel. Right? It will reawaken, and you won't say kama bottle. Okay. Rabbi Yehuda mashmul kol mariad mumis mechapin machshirin v'chayavin. Rabbi Yehuda mashmul says a rule. Kol mariat mimos is mechaper, like a zrika, and machshirin we'll see is machshirin. Now machshirin is the most pleiadic. What's the greatest chiddush of machshirin? L'chura, what are we talking about here? It's either dam or it's mayim. Both of them could be machshir. So what's the chiddush, right? That's going to be the Gemara's kasha. V'chayam b'kisei, right? So the question is, what exactly is Rabbi Yehuda Mashmul coming to be mechadish? Mechaprim and Chayav B'Kisei are mishnayis, and machshirin is for sure not a chiddush because machshirin it's either dam or it's mayim. What's the chiddush? So in fact, that's going to be Gemara's kasha. Mechaprim Tanina. That's the Mishnah in Zvachim. Chayav B'Kisei Tanina our Mishnah. Machshirin it's everything about machshirin is richale. In fact, machshirin nami idam machshirin machshir. If it's dam is always machshir. Imayim machshirin machshir. What's the chiddush? So the Gemara is going to end up saying two truths. That the pshat is that it got mixed up with make shamim, and make shamim since he was never mechashiv on it. It came from the what's called it from the rain, and nobody was mechashiv on it. So memela it's not machshav. Frank the Gemara make shamim nami kivin the shakav rami achshavinu. Since he's taking it, he took the mayim. We're talking about that he was machshav, right? He's achshavinu. So well, it's that it got mixed up by itself somehow. Rainwater dripped in by itself, and memela, so the water would not be able to be machshir, and Memelo you have the halacha of Mariat Mimos, that the dam out the dam it would have a chshivas of mashke to be machsher, and that's the chiddush of Shmuel like this first pshat. But now the Gemara says a new mahalach. Rav Yoasi mehan viloyme bitzlalta de dama. We're talking about if, let's say, blood sat around for a while. What happens is that the red platelets they congeal and they come together, and the liquid ends up becoming like whitish, and that liquid has a din only dam if it's red. A new halacha, we're talking about salta de dam, a whole different halacha. The clearness of blood, a new halacha, and this halacha is also totally in if it has a mariad mimos. Sakti Gemara on this salt of the dam, that the pshat is it has a din of dam if it has a marad mims for udeka kizayis, and b'masis they're talking about tam b'oil for udeka revius, because that's the halacha that you need a revius by dam for oil. So this salt of the dam, if it has a marad admimos, has a din dam, and it will be what it's going to be onish karis or oil. Let's finish up this one last shtickle Gemara. It's very simple shtickle Gemara. We'll be able to finish up real quickly. Kol mashke hames. Let's go real quickly. Kol mashke hames tohirim. All mashke from a mace is tohirim, like it's spit or whatever. All different kinds of all other liquids of a mace is tar. Chutz midamei. Yeah. All mashke of a mace, there's no issa, not midrabanan, not midaraisa, it's tahar, chutz midamei. Damei is going to be asa. V'chol mariad mimos shaboy, mitam ba'oil. Mariad mimos is what we just talked about, tzlal to the dama. Mitam ba'oil. Frekti Gemara kasha, is it true? Mashke ha-mace is tahirim. Is it true that all the other mashkes are tar, even midrabanan, v'ramini? We have a mishnah mashke tful yoim, that a mashke of a tvul yoim kim mashkin shenegea behem. Mashke tvul yoim, the halacha is it's just like mashke that touches a tvul yoim. That what that mashke that there's no tumah. Just like a mashke that touches a tvul yoim, there's no tumah. Ve'elu eimetamim v'shar kol hatmeim. We'll see what this is. Bein kalim, bein chamurim. We'll see what that is. Mashkin hayoytze mehem. All the kinds of liquids that come out of atmeim. Sai kalim, sai chamurim. Kimashkan again, is as if it touched it. Ve'elu tchila. And it becomes not only is it Tameh, but it becomes a tchila. What does it mean a tchila? Meaning that it gets bumped up to a rishon. Chutz min hamashke shu avatuma. Everything becomes a rishon. Everything gets bumped up to a rishon unless it's even more chamer to avatuma. So the question is, what's kalim mechamurim? My kalim or my chamurim? My lav kalim is sheretz v'zav, and chamurim is mace, because we know mace is avi avois, and the sheretz is a av. So look, it makes sense that kalim mechamurim means the sheretz v'zav is kalim, and the mace is chamurim, and Memela will come out of Gvaldig first Mishnah that is a tumah midrabanan and shara mashkin. So tomorrow, loy kalim is sheretz. The chamurim zav. But there's no toma midrabanan on shar mashkin of a mace. Frekti moro maishna. Maishna zav the gazu be rabbanan and maishna mace. The loy gazu be rabbanan. The tomorrow is very simple. Zav the loy b'deili inchimine gazu be rabbanan. Mace the b'deili inchimine gazu be rabbanan. Very simple. A zav is a live person, and Memela people are not going to just run away from it. So Memela, therefore, Chazal were geyser. Mashenke, when it comes to a mace, the teva is that b'deili inchimine it goes to the funeral parlor, and they take care of it. Nobody touches it. So Memela, there was no makom to be geyser. So we're not geyser on shar mashkin of a mace. We only have salted the dama. But besides that, all shar mashkin of a mace is not metama even midrabanan. Azav it's metama. The Gemara doesn't discuss why the Chazal were geyser by a sheretz, but Zav was the question. The Zav is a human just like a mace, and that was the question. Okay, Givaldi, Kol Tov.
Did you go over that Chamovi also?